Good morning, everyone. Being a longtime Warrior fan, one of the most underrated players I've ever seen was Andrew Bogut. A guy always willing to do the dirty work, set the hard screens, put his body on the line, and didn't care if he got any credit, even though to me he was one of the most important players on that last Warriors run. Andrew Bogut always seemed to be a real man to me during his NBA career, and now post-career, he's still that same great man. He just put out this recent video. Just a reminder that not all athletes or former athletes are scumbag sellouts. Here you go.
What's going on? Thought I'd put out a little ranty video out there for everybody. So whenever I post shit about what's going on in the world today, about lockdowns, about all these restrictions that are imposed on people, human beings, can't leave your 5 kilometer radius, you can't go out at night, you can't see your family members. Number one, I get, what, so we should let it rip? No, we shouldn't let it rip. But we also shouldn't lock down the way we are. I think there's a middle ground, and I'll discuss this a little bit more on a podcast that is dropping next week. This isn't a promo for that by any means, but I get a lot of people saying, well, look at the millionaire Andrew Bogut, speaking up and talking shit out of his ivory tower or his mansion or his castle. You dumb bananas made my very point by saying that. Every time I get that, I laugh. Because yes, I should be quiet. I've got my money, got a beautiful home, got nice cars. I'm never in need, never wanting. So theoretically, I should just shut the fuck up and not create any negative publicity for myself from the media smashing me for my views on things, people calling me a conspiracy theorist. So I should be quiet. You're making my very, very, very point. I'm getting nothing out of speaking up for everyday people, nothing at all. I'm not running for politics. I've got no, in fact, I lose marketing deals and lose sponsorships because of my views, because I'm willing to stand up for people who I fucking once was. I was part of the working class. My father would not have been able to survive in this current climate, period. Who would have paid his mortgage? Who would have paid the loan on the car? Who would have paid his business loan? I know exactly what that life was all about. And I know from what I lived and what I experienced, just because I've made it now, I'm gonna live my dying days sticking up for the working class and people that actually get up at fucking 5, 6 in the morning, work their asses off, pay taxes, come home, barely see their children, their wife, maybe get an hour in before dinner, have dinner, put the kids to bed, and they start another day all over again. I'm gonna fight for them till my dying days. I get nothing out of this shit, nothing. So for all you idiots out there that say, well, it's a bit much me throwing arrows or darts or stones from my ivory tower, you make my very point, you dumb bananas. Now, takes me on to the next subject of this. Why have we seen there's no celebrities, athletes, there's barely, it's less than, it's 1%, 2% at best, that are speaking up against this government in Australia. It's easy to say, oh yeah, ScoMo's fault. Yeah, he's a banana too. Don't like any of them. I don't like, just because I hate Andrews doesn't mean I like Gladys. Just because I like this guy doesn't mean I hate this guy. I take every man, every woman at their face value. And there's not one that appeals to me right now. Not one that's in Parliament that appeals to me. That is actually defending, that actually has power, mind you. That actually has power to change shit. There's not one. I'd go in a voting booth, I'd scrunch that piece of paper up and wipe my ass with it. That's what I would do right now, today. I have no idea who I would vote for. So, this isn't a left versus right rant. And you people that are on team politics, either side, left or right, you're missing the point. You're being divided, you're being tallied up against each other, right? But you athletes and you influencers that have all these sponsors and marketers behind you pushing promos to the plebs that buy your shit, where's your voice? Why aren't any of you speaking up? The very people that buy your fucking deodorants and your moisturizers and your candles and your Nike shoes, whatever it is, the very people that buy that are the ones that are most affected by this shit. Imagine being told You're not essential to go to work and make money for your family. But people, the elites, people with money like myself, I could get a permit pretty easily. Very easily. In fact, I had one when I worked for Channel 7. I had a media pass. I was deemed essential because I was on TV. But the guy mowing lawns, or last lockdown at least, 2 lockdowns ago, the people that are labourers and out in the public and in the workforce on the road all day, they're deemed not essential? Nah, I'm not rolling. But back to my point, where we have people that have a following, that have thousands upon hundreds of thousands upon some millions of people that follow their every word, that respect what they say for whatever reason. We're not arguing that. Whether you're an actor, an actress, a sports star, an influencer from getting a nice boob job and looking good, I don't care. Whoever you are, why don't we hear you speaking up? The silence is deafening. Let me give you the reason why. Last year, about 3 or 4 months into this pandemic, I got a message from somebody. I'm not going to name who it was or where it came from. I got offered money to put out a public service announcement for you everyday plebs to stay home. Well, it's something like this. Hi, I'm Andrew Bogut, former NBA washed up athlete, former Olympian, whatever you want to call it. It's your duty to stay home. Do the right thing for the community. I've got money in my bank account. I'm good. I'm fine. I can fill up my fridge with food. Got cars. I can even somewhat get to different parts of the world if I really wanted to. But you, stay home. Do the right thing for the community. We are all in this together. I refuse to do that shit. And I was offered money for it. I don't need the money. You're right. I was offered money for it. I refuse to do that shit. Now, that's a personal choice I made because I knew that I was that person that I'd be giving the message to when I was a kid. I was once that person that's told, you're not essential. Check the community, stay home. So put 2 and 2 together. Why do you think a lot of these people haven't put messages out? Why do you think they put contra messages out saying, do the right thing? Oh, don't do this, don't do that. You got to stay home. You're not essential. I am. I can shoot my influencer video here on the beach and I'm deemed essential. Here's my media pass. But you're not essential. They get paid for that shit for the most part. Athletes that are in leagues all around Australia and even the world to an extent, I know for Australia for a fact because I've had people reach out to me, have been muzzled. Athletes that are on contract in our biggest leagues in Australia, AFL, NRL, whatever you want to call it, they've been told you are not to make anti-lockdown, anti-government statements on social media, period, no matter how drastic they are, because it affects our league staying open and you getting a salary. That's why these people aren't batting for you. And yes, I am in a privileged position where I don't need to rely on anyone for my money. Don't need to. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. So I'm enemy number one because I'm not on anyone's team. They can't shut me up. So for those of you out there that are scratching your head in these tough times thinking, where are all these people, these influencers, these sports stars that I've supported with my minimum wage or my middle class wage, buying jerseys for my kids and tickets? Where are these people? Why can't they go to bat for me? That's your reason. That is your reason. And we're in tough times now. This whole thing about sticking together, that we can get through this. It's not as easy as that for the working class. It's not as easy as that for people that live in a 2-bedroom unit with 2 or 3 kids, a husband and a wife, a husband that's used to going to work 9 till 7 on the tools, to just be cramped in a little unit, little apartment for 18 odd months. What are we, 205 days, 210 days of lockdown in Melbourne? Even when the lockdowns ended, that shit was not, there was still restrictions. Couldn't go anywhere. Oh, lockdowns are over, fantastic. Where are you going? Go visit your grandma. No, we can't do that. I can't go to anyone's house yet. Is lockdown really over then? Oh, you can go further than 5 kilometres. Fantastic. Where are you going? So this is a bit of a rant. I get it. But I want to let people know what goes on behind the scenes. What really happens. Why certain people cannot speak up. And now, this isn't necessarily a shot at those people that aren't speaking up. I get it. They're making a living and their livelihood is at stake. It's the same as police officers I talk to here in Victoria. They want to speak out, but they know. I speak out, bye-bye job, bye-bye good shifts. I'm going to get shitty shifts if they demote me. Pension, benefits, could all go out the window. I get it. But we need to talk out in the open of why people cannot express that this is a load of shit. Most people believe it's a load of shit. There are more people than not that think, all right, we've exhausted the lockdowns. We've exhausted how harsh these lockdowns are. Can we tweak it a little bit? Can we make a little bit more sense? Outdoor transmissions. I still want to see a documented paper or case in outdoor transmissions to shut kids' playgrounds down, to shut construction sites down. Have we seen those yet? And if we have, is it one in the world maybe? So when you're reading between the lines in despair, wondering why, there's your answers. It's the blunt truth. That's the reality of our world right now. I hope things get better. I don't see it in Australia for a number of months, if not years. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's just something that we need to keep chatting about out in the open. We need to hold our politicians, our councillors, all these people on full fucking wages, dictating when you can work and when you cannot. And for all you people, I don't even blame the politicians as much as people think I blame them. I blame the people following these people saying the restrictions are 100% correct with whatever comes out of their mouth. I blame you people. Love thy neighbour. What about that neighbour that can't go to work and can't pay his mortgage? Is probably going to lose his house. Can't feed his family. Food Bank Victoria yesterday shut down because of worries about it being a hotspot for coronavirus, because there was a line of people wanting free fucking food. But Victoria Police today at the protest can have 1,000 police officers in the city, pepper spraying, shooting people with rubber bullets, doing their thing. They couldn't get 100 police officers directing traffic to a fucking food bank. Think about that one. Have a good day.